And when he got to be president, what did you make of the controversial war on drugs and the resulting alleged extrajudicial killings, which has now taken him to The Hague?
Yes, when he was president, that was the time when he already appointed me to become the chief of staff. And practically, as AFP chief of staff, we had very little or no direct participation in the drug war. What we actually did was just provide the Philippine National Police with whatever intelligence or information that we had. We had about drug syndicates, about drug cartels, about drug personalities, and that was all. As far as law enforcement is concerned, it was the PNP that was enforcing it, and we were just on a supporting role, ready to stand by in case our assistance would be required.
But given that support role, you were also involved in the whole process. And looking back now that you've retired, and it's been 3 years since you've retired and kind of had time to soul search, if you will, how were you looking back at that time when it was so controversial, having to take part in the controversial war on drugs?
Looking back, I would say that there were really a lot of killings. And I wouldn't know whether it was a government sanctioned or government sponsored. But definitely, I don't believe that government or any president or leader in his right mind would undertake such a thing. But indeed, there were a lot of killings at that time, and this was really a cause of serious concern. And looking back, I believe that the government at that time should have done more in terms of investigating and finding out and getting those responsible pay for their actions.
Did you get a chance to speak up and be heard at the time you were AFP chief?
About the drug war?
Yes.
I stuck to my own business. I never meddled in other people's business. So I was very much focused on national security, making sure that the territorial integrity of the country is maintained. At that time, the problem in the West Philippine Sea was already brewing, and that was the focus of my attention. When I was chief of staff, I saw that there was a need to really reinforce the troops that were deployed to safeguard the frontiers in the West Philippine Sea. In fact, it was during my time when we started to mobilize resources to repair the airstrip and establish a port in Pag-asa Island, because delivering supplies to the island, and which later on were transported to the outlying detachments, outposts in the West Philippine Sea, became a problem. So we had to make sure that this distribution point was secured and reinforced.
Looking back, would you have done anything differently as AFP chief, as the controversial war on drugs was gaining momentum, headlines, and negativism?
As I said, that as AFP chief, I really had no direct participation or involvement in the war of drugs. My role was actually defined by the instructions or orders given to me and as specified in my mandate as AFP chief of staff. And it is clear in my mandate that the mandate only involves providing supporting role to the Philippine National Police.